Hey, welcome to the Strong Roots Podcast. My name is Kristin Hill, and we are so excited that you're tuning in today. Our prayer is that you would move one step closer to Jesus through this series. So go ahead and check out this next episode. Hey, Strong Roots, I'm so excited to be here with you. I'm here with Mark, and we are in our fatherhood season, and he is going to talk about raising both girls and boys today. And he's also a foster dad, so you're going to hit all angles. But I'm so glad to have him here. I respect his parenting so much, and I respect the way that you follow Jesus in every area of your life so relentlessly. So thank you for being here.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, you ready?
Sure.
Okay, so first question, what's your journey into fatherhood look like?
Well, it's a long one, that's for sure, but it feels like it's gone really fast. Started about 12 and a half years ago when I had my oldest, and we'll get into all the details later, but I've got 4 kids, 12, 10, 8, and 4.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to remember all ages because they keep changing during the middle of the year, you know?
Yeah.
But we also have 2 foster kids right now. We just actually got them last night, so that's a new addition to our family, and we'll see how long we're able to take care of them. But like I said, started about 12 and a half years ago, and it's been a journey. Like I started out not a Christian.
Yeah.
And God surely has transformed the way that I parent, basically because he's transformed my life through Jesus. So.
Yeah. Wow. What was the biggest change from following Jesus and parenting and not?
Yeah. So when I first started out, really selfish, really lazy, didn't really have a purpose for what I was doing.
Yeah.
So it started from there, but after fully surrendering my life to Christ, things started to change. It starts slow and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
But I found over the years that the 12 years has really flown by, and we only have so much time with our kids.
Right.
So we really need to make sure that, I need to make sure that I use that time wisely. I know sometimes you got to work late and you don't see your kids one day, but that can't be every day for me. I got to make sure that I'm there for them. And sometimes I'm serving at church or I'm on a mission trip or whatever. So if I'm not with my kids, I want it to be a good reason.
Right.
And I want them to know what I'm doing too, so they know why I'm not there or whatever. So. Absolutely.
It sounds like you're intentional with your time.
I try to be. That's one of the things that I've been learning, and one of the things that Candace, my wife, has really helped steer me in the right direction with. Yeah. She tries to keep me focused, and that's what I appreciate.
Yes.
And sometimes I get a little defensive, but I really have tried to hold that back and realize that we're all, we both have the same goal.
Yes.
We both want the best for our family, for our kids, and if she has something to say, it's probably for a good reason. So.
Absolutely. And how many years have you been married now then?
It'll be 15 in December.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yes. So how do you cultivate and nurture your children's unique gifts?
Okay. Let me start off by saying, they definitely have unique gifts, and they're very different, but we have a lot of things that we make sure they know that are the same for all of them. First, we don't, for school, conferences and stuff like that, we don't really focus on, let's get that A- up to an A. We focus on, who are they at school? Are they helpful? Are they kind? Do they show empathy to other kids there? Are they, just fun kids to be around?
Yeah.
I would much rather them be good people than have straight A's.
Sounds like you focus on character.
Right. So we focus a lot on character, and that goes for everything, not just school. Like sports. I don't necessarily care if they score 4 soccer goals. I mean, right. I'm competitive, so I want them to.
Yeah.
But if they work hard, if they don't give up, if they are, good sportsmanship on the field or wherever they are, that's the most important thing to me.
Has it always been that way?
I think, they haven't been in sports for long enough since like my first few years into fatherhood, so I think so, but Candace says a lot of things into that and then helps me make sure I stay focused on the right things. So, because I get a little competitive sometimes.
Is it easier? Do you feel like with boys and girls, is it easier to be more competitive with your son than your daughters, or no?
It really depends on which kid it is, because I've seen all kinds of different kids. Like with fostering, now we've got 2 more, so we've had like 14 kids like live in our house over the last 12 years, counting these 2 new ones, and that doesn't count a few overnights here and there. But there's so many different personalities that the kids have. Some of them can take a little bit of constructive criticism, and some of them can't. And you just got to learn what will encourage them to do their best. How do you approach the situation so that they don't feel hurt by the way you say it? Every kid is different with that. So,
how do you figure that out? Is it trial and error?
You really have to pay attention to what you're saying and did that work? If it didn't work, you had the right intention, but it came off completely wrong. So what is it that I did that didn't work, and what do I need to do in the future to fix that? And that is one of my biggest struggles, because sometimes I just keep doing the same thing over and over instead of trying to figure out I need to do this right instead of wrong. So
and that's easy as a parent.
Yeah.
To be like, why isn't this thing that should work? And you just try to keep hammering it in, where it's like that doesn't fit.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah.
So beside finances, how do you see your role as a provider for your children?
So provider I see as a lot of different things. Finances obviously, but I don't see that as my number one. I think number one would be leadership.
Yeah.
Leadership of the family. Make sure that we're on mission doing what we have set out to do. Make sure that everybody is encouraged when they feel down or feel like this isn't going good. So leadership in that way. Also, I guess I'm a provider of like safety, so not just physical safety, but emotional, spiritual safety, so that my kids know that they can come to me no matter what it is. Like if they have a question about the Bible, or like they just feel horrible because somebody said something to them. You want them to be able to come to you, and kind of like how we need to come to God when we're, when we need Him. So, lastly, I think like a provider of like opportunities. So, we need to provide opportunities for them to grow, for them to like even fail. Like we want to help them learn how to fail, because as soon as you get out of the house, you're probably going to fail a few times.
Absolutely.
So you got to help them through things, figure out why something didn't work, what they can do better next time. And
what's hard for you to provide? And
I think it's from my personality. I have some deficiencies in like emotional connection, like with all of my kids, I guess, but my girls too, because they have a different personality than my boys. But so I need to remember to make sure I take the time to really sit with them and talk to them instead of just trying to fix the problem.
Absolutely. To take a lot of self-control.
I have a tendency just to like try to fix a problem as fast as I can.
Yeah.
And that's not what they need a lot of the times. So.
Absolutely. That's cool that you see it and that you are intentional about it.
Yeah, I got a long way to go.
I feel you. I think we all do. So, how have you changed as a father, and how has your relationship with your Heavenly Father changed since becoming a dad?
So, I think I mentioned it earlier, but I think it really kind of went, hand in hand.
Yeah.
So I feel like I was not a good father whatsoever. Like when I first started, I wasn't a Christian then. And I'm sure there's good fathers that aren't Christians, but I was just lazy and selfish.
Yeah.
And so after I fully devoted my life to Christ, it started to change. And I just thank God for the transformation. I know that God sincerely, like, hugely used my wife Candace to help me with that transformation. And I'm just thankful that she didn't give up on me, and she just kept encouraging me. She never she was never like a naggy wife. She just was always trying to encourage me in the right direction. So, as I started to grow, I've realized that my relationship with my kids should be a lot like my relationship with God. So I need to be like the God figure, which is a lot of pressure, but I need to be the one that they run to when they need something. But then I also need to transfer that to God and teach them that, they can run to me, but eventually they're going to need to run to God as they grow up.
Absolutely.
And they can't rely on me because I'm just their dad. I'm a human. I'm going to fail. They need to know that God is perfect and loving and the one that they can run to. So
Absolutely. Is it? I don't know. You said it's hard to... I bet it's easy in some ways to reflect God's nature and character because of the Holy Spirit, but then in other ways it's hard. Do you feel like it's your normal character defects that make it hard, or are there different ones in fatherhood that are magnified?
I just think our sinful nature just will kind of take over when we get lazy or when we are not intentional.
Right.
And so I just think like if I just want to rush to fix a problem, it's because I'm being lazy and I don't want to really, be actually present in there for them. I just don't want to hear them whining or arguing, So I don't know if that answers your question.
Do you feel like your kids are some of the easiest people to not try? Not brush aside, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. They're always there.
Yeah.
And in a way, we need to remember that they are the most, they should be the relationships in our life, along with our spouse, but they should be the relationship in our life that is the most worked on, like the one that we focus on the most.
Right.
Because those are the relationships that God has put in our life that can really transform the most.
Yeah.
Because, if you're talking to a friend or, someone new, you can only spend an hour or two with them at a time. Whereas your kids, depending on, your lifestyle or whatever, you've got a lot more time with them. And when you do, you kind of start to get lazy with that and not stay focused. So.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like, God literally knit them together in Candace's womb, for you too, you guys to raise, to train. And there's lots, like you're saying, lots of people that come in our lives that we can disciple and love.
Right.
But these are the only people that were made for your, completely for your family.
Yeah, and the weird part is, our first three were in Candace's womb.
Yeah.
And the fourth one wasn't, but it's... I forget sometimes. He was made for us.
Yes. Because he's omnipresent and omniscient. And
And God had it all planned all along.
Yeah.
So, it's amazing.
It is. Yeah. But I think it's the enemy that here are these people that we are made to train up, and they're not even really ours.
Yeah.
And but then it's so easy to just... You like you were saying, you have to be intentional.
Right. I feel like as a leader of our family, if I fail, I've let down this many people in my family, but not only them, the people that they can affect in their life. So all of my kids can affect, hundreds of people in their life. So I just want to make sure that I do my job right.
Right.
So that God can use my kids to reach hundreds, thousands of people and their kids, and generation after generation. So.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. So how can a wife best support her husband as a father?
I think the biggest thing is encouragement. I know, honestly, Candace has more wisdom than I could ever imagine. And so when she talks, I really try to listen because I feel like she's always right. And I really mean that. So, so there's a few times she might have meant, but, so God has put Candace in my life, and I know that the Holy Spirit speaks through her at the times when I need it most.
Right.
She helps me stay focused. Like I said, she helps me make sure that I am present when I'm home. That's important for me to remember.
Yeah.
And I just think that, as long as I don't get defensive, any encouragement that she gives me is extremely helpful. So I guess encouragement is the biggest thing.
Absolutely, because I feel like it's easy when you're married, I don't know why, but to forget that they need encouragement just as much as you do, or just as much as the next person. I like that. So how do you specifically raise your kids to love and know Jesus? Is there anything, you've talked about things that you've done, but anything you want to share with viewers that has been really helpful?
Sure. I think the biggest thing is realizing that it's what we do day in and day out that really will affect our kids the most.
Yeah.
So it's not the preaching to them, although I do that too. It's more of how we live our everyday life. So our family has a mission. We know, everybody in our family knows that we are willing to sacrifice to love other people, because Jesus did that for us, because he calls us to do that for other people. And so our kids get to play a role in that family mission, and one of the biggest ways is through fostering. They're always excited, sometimes a little nervous, but they're always excited to join us on the next mission, even though they know it's going to be hard.
Right.
They know why we're doing it. So whether it's not just fostering, getting ready for life groups, planning for missions trips, having people over. There's all kinds of things that we do serving at church, like doing things during our daily life that they know that we do everything we have for a reason, and there's nothing in our life that trumps our family mission. Yeah. So if they've got sports activities, they love them, we love them too, but we're never going to have something that goes over and above what our family mission is because somebody's good at soccer or whatever.
Absolutely.
So I think that's the most important thing. Like, we just completely, sometimes we lose focus, but we try to make sure that we live on mission every day, and we are fully surrendered to Christ in any decision that we make. So
I love that your mission is pretty much we pick up our cross and we follow Jesus every day. And whether it's hard, whether it's easy, we're following him.
Right. And it can be so much different on what that means. It just, any given day, it can be something different. So. And
that's the beauty of following Jesus.
Yeah. It's an adventure. Yes. Like, I can't imagine life any other way. I feel like it would be boring.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
I'd be lazy and bored and selfish, and that doesn't
lead to satisfaction
to me. So.
Yes. So last question. So what piece of wisdom, if you could leave the people listening with, what would it be in fatherhood in general?
I think it's don't give up. Like, it's never too late to start leading your family to Jesus, or towards Jesus, or serving people with them for Jesus. there's gonna be bad days. There's gonna be good days. But even in the good days, you can do a better job. So I feel like we should always strive to work hard, to do our best, to stay focused. Mm-hmm. And if you fall down, get back up again and keep moving, keep going, keep working hard. Sometimes you feel like you might fail, so you really don't want to do it, but you got to fight that fear and just follow Jesus and do what he wants you to do. So
absolutely, because what's on the other side of it is always so much better than you could have asked or imagined, even if it's in light of eternity.
Right.
So good. Thank you, Mark. That was amazing.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, same. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. And the challenge is, if you guys don't have a vision for your family, if you have children, I want to challenge you to create one, to figure what that is, because I think that is what has driven your family so well, is that it is Jesus focused and you live every day with intentionality. And I would love to have that for you guys as well. But thank you so much for tuning in, and we cannot wait to catch you next time. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to follow us on our other social media platforms. We don't want you to miss out on any future content. Thank you so much again, guys. I hope you have a great day. And I want you to know I am personally praying that your roots stay strong.